Hello, this video is the who, what, when, where, why, and how of muscle testing and how to make sure you're using it to empower yourself and not disempower yourself. And we're going to talk about what that means very soon. So I'm just going to get straight into the very 6 questions that I just outlined. Number 1, who? Who uses muscle testing? You might see a kinesiologist using muscle testing. You might see various kinds of practitioners, whether it's a massage therapist or a physiotherapist or a chiropractor or a naturopath or a transformational coach like myself. In the belief repatterning technique that I'm licensed in, we use muscle testing a lot. It's called kinesthesiology. That means kinesthetic of the body. Then another category of people that might use muscle testing are like people who are more psychic, intuitive, into mediumship and things like that, and as a tool to supplement their intuition. The key word is supplement. This is not using it instead of, and we're going to get into that in a second. And finally, you can use muscle testing. There's absolutely no reason why not. You don't need years and years of training. You need an open relationship with your body, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to make sure that we ease into that open relationship of communication with the body in a way that sets you up for success. So that's the who. Next is what. What is muscle testing? It is asking for the body's viewpoint. We are asking the body for a yes or no answer to a given question. And I'm just going to make a note to make sure I talk about how to phrase the question. But that's going to come later in the how section. I forgot to write it down at the beginning. There we go. So we're asking for the body's viewpoint, a yes or no answer to a specific question. And what that means is our bodies are connected to our emotional space in a different way than our minds are. Our bodies are connected to spirit in a different way than our minds are. And our bodies are obviously connected to our bodies in a different way than our minds are. So what it is asking for the body's perspective on the question. This doesn't mean that the body is giving you the answer that's the ultimate truth. The body is giving you its perspective based on its understanding, which is different than the understanding that occurs in your prefrontal cortex, in your mind. Our minds are powerful tools, and they're limited, and they get really busy coming up with reasons. They get really busy coming up with explanations and rationalizations, and we want to bypass all of that. So we use muscle testing to bypass the mind and get a perspective that is a different perspective than what the mind would have given us. And have you ever been really entrenched in a belief about something, and then somebody, they don't tell you you're wrong necessarily, but they just offer you a different perspective, and you go, oh, wow, I was really stuck in this way of thinking about it, but just seeing this other perspective really helps me to get out of that stuckness. So that's what we use it for. When do we use muscle testing? We use muscle testing when we want an answer that we're not going to get a good answer from the mind. Like I said, our minds rationalize, explain, problem solve, do all of these things. Sometimes we want to go for a deeper truth or a deeper understanding, and or we have an answer like is this essential oil or this essential oil in the best interest for my body right now? Which one does my body want? Well, my mind can't tell me that. I mean, I might say, well, my back hurts, and so I want to use Panaway because Panaway helps with my back pain. But maybe Panaway is not actually what my body wants, and maybe my back hurts because of something that my mind isn't even conceiving of, and what my body wanted was actually Copaiba. For those of you who don't know, it's a total side note, but copaíba is a beautiful Brazilian essential oil that comes from a tree that's like a wonderful thing. Anyway, maybe my body wanted that. My mind wouldn't be able to figure it out. So I use muscle testing to say, hey body, which one of these is going to support you best? Or food or whatever. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah, we'll get into it right now. It's the next thing on my list. So when would I use it? When I want to know what my body wants. Does my body want more water? Does my body want this food or this food? Am I sick? Am I not sick? Is there a virus in my body? Is there not a virus in my body? Am I ovulating? Nope. A lot of faith on that one, maybe. I've used it. And I have a baby, but I knew the answer was yes. Stones. Which of these stones do I want to carry with me today? Do I want my amethyst or do I want my selenite? My body knows which vibration it wants. My mind might not know. My mind might say, I really like the amethyst, but for different reasons than my body does. Another time when we might use it is when we want to explore things about our emotions. And that's where I use it in the belief repatterning technique, because you could ask me the question, why are you upset? And my mind will come up with all these reasons, and they might not have anything to do with the root of it, with the core of it. And so I use muscle testing to actually identify out of a book that's full of words that are feelings, and those feelings have vibrations. And my body knows which of those vibrations it's stuck in and which of those vibrations it wants to be in. So that's when I would use it too, is like, oh, I'm feeling drained and I want to feel refreshed. Well, maybe I'm not upset because so-and-so said this and it made me feel blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'm just feeling drained and it's making me easily irritated, right? And I want to feel refreshed. So then we work on moving into feeling refreshed. And that's just an example that popped into my mind. And then another time when we might use it is when we're channeling or doing psychic work, mediumship. And in this case, it's a supplement. In all these cases, it's a supplement. It's a supplementary tool. But if I'm receiving a download from spirit and I am not 100% clear on what did that mean, I can say, did it mean this or did it mean this? And my body has a different connection to my higher being than my mind does, right? And I mean, I can open my channel and just let it come through. And sometimes I want a little bit more clarity. What did that mean? And instead of asking for more words from the channeling process, I can just say, well, did that mean this or did it mean this? Okay, I'm clear on that. Let's move on, right? And, but also I muscle test on behalf of my clients when I'm in session, because I'm checking in with them to see where are they in the stages of our transformation. And I mean, my intuition can feel it in my body. If we just shifted from one step to the next step. And I also use muscle testing to reinforce that, to just, if I might feel, oh, I think we've shifted to, or I feel that we've shifted from permission to choice, but I'll muscle test, is there any more permission? Oh, we do need another permission statement. Okay, let's do a few more. And maybe we were just on that transition point between permission and choice. I felt that we were transitioning, but we weren't quite done yet, right? So the muscle testing just gives me that little bit more clarity. So yeah, the mind is an incredible tool, but its uses are limited in the grand scheme of human potential. So muscle testing is another tool. And the most important thing I wrote down here under when do we use muscle testing, the answer is we use muscle testing when our body's needs have been met. So just think about yourself. If you're tired, hungry, you haven't had enough water, and somebody comes bombarding you with questions, can you answer them? Probably not. Probably you want that person to shut up and go away. And so treat your body with the same respect as you want others to treat you, and make sure that your body is not tired, hungry, thirsty, out of sorts in another way. I have gone through phases where I couldn't muscle test because I was sick and my body just said, you know what, we're just resting. Sorry, don't ask. And that's okay. So don't get all tied in knots if you're trying to muscle test and nothing's working. Instead, just check in. Is there something my body needs? And don't only be giving your body what it needs so that you can get more muscle testing done. Give your body what it needs because you're in a great relationship with your body. And chances are, even if you're getting a bunch of mixed up signals from your body on muscle testing, it's still going to give you a clear signal on whether or not it needs more water. So if number one, if you're having muddy muscle testing, drink some water. It clears your cells need water in order to process all of the information that we're processing so much on a day-to-day basis. And I believe now more than ever, because we're in a stage of rapid evolution on a consciousness level. And so muscle test when your body's needs are met. Where do we muscle test? In sessions, at the grocery store, driving down the highway, passing a burger joint, wondering if you should eat there or not. Where? In my bathroom when I'm looking at my essential oil shelf going, what do I want? What does my body want? When I'm in a rock and crystal shop and want to know which one wants to come home with me. And again, my intuition tells me, I feel it. I feel which one wants to come home with me. And sometimes I might be in a position where I didn't feel it clearly, or maybe I felt two, but I'm only giving myself permission to buy one that day. So then I would muscle test which one does my body want more. And again, with things like essential oils and rocks and crystals and words, it's about the vibration. This is a vibration my body is aware would be of our highest good. So why? That's kind of already been covered in the when and what. But why do we muscle test? We muscle test because we're looking for deeper understanding. Not because we think it's going to give us the ultimate truth. But yes, because we're looking for deeper understanding, a different perspective than what the mind can give us. It's a tool to assist us and gain clarity that we use in conjunction with all of the other tools that we have. And I think that the ultimate tool is actually our intuition, and that I want to be leaning more towards relying 100% on my intuition and not even really needing to muscle test, and just like falling back on the muscle testing on the days where I'm just not 100% there with my intuition. So this is where I want to talk about using it in a way that empowers you rather than disempowering you, because anything can be used in a disempowering way, even though you're trying to use it as a tool to meet a goal. If you're relying on it too much, then you're actually disempowering yourself. And if you are using it as a supplementary tool to flesh out or gain clarity on the downloads that you're already receiving, then that's using it in an empowering way. And so I want to be really clear about that. The tools are not the gifts. We are the gifts. We have everything that we need in order to discern all of the information that we're being bombarded with at any point in time. We have it already. And as humans that are evolving very rapidly right now, and life is new and different every day, it's important to have tools that can help us. But we are the gifts, and when we can really trust that and be empowered in ourselves, we don't even need the muscle testing, but we can use it anyway. Sometimes it's easier, so play with it that way. Know that your knowing is more important. One of the times I think I forgot to mention this, but one of the times I do use it is when I'm entering into a moment where I just had a feeling in my gut and I'm having a hard time figuring out, was that intuition or was that an emotional pattern? Am I having an emotional reaction based on my history or anxiety about it that's not based in intuition? And sort of sorting out, was this intuition or was this anxiety? I'll just muscle test, right? And again, My ultimate goal is to be at the point where I just knew that was intuition. That was anxiety based on previous trauma in my life or something, or like, but until I'm at that point where I feel that way all the time, yeah, sure, I muscle test, but I don't rely on it. I don't depend on it. It's not the end all be all. It's just another perspective. And I want to be really clear on that. Brilliant tool, not ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is from our connection to spirit. I didn't mention, I think, sometimes this helps us in our connections with our guides. Same as I was talking about when whether it's my higher being or a guide or an angel or whoever that's kind of coming to me, the muscle testing can be used to gain clarity. But again, it's not the end all be all. The trusting of the message that's coming through is the empowered place to be. And if you have any repatterning to do around that trust, tell me and we'll work on it in our next session. Okay. How? So 5 things I'm going to show you of how to muscle test. The arm method, the finger method, the flick method, the twitch method, and the lean method. Those are the 5 I'm familiar with. Maybe there are more. This might not be the all-encompassing, comprehensive, end-all be-all of muscle testing techniques that I'm about to lay out for you here, but these are the ones I know. Some of them I use sometimes. Some of them I use every minute of every day. And so I'll start with the arm one. That's if I'm in session with a client, then you'll see me pushing their arm down or pushing it and it stops. This can, you can set the intention of what you want the down or the stop to mean. Which one's yes and which one's no. There might be different reasons why it would be better to have it one way or better to have it the other way. If I am in session with a client and I'm going through my belief repatterning book, which is full of words upon words upon words upon words, I don't want to be going, no, 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 no. I'm going to give you a shoulder problem. So we set the intention in my sessions that a no is solid and a yes goes down. It's, by the way, it's not very practical to arm test yourself. We'll talk about the alternatives to that, especially if you're like in the grocery store. I mean, I don't really care what people think of me at this point in my life, but it looks a little silly. So I've set the intention that for my purposes, a no is solid and a yes goes down. Another practitioner or a massage therapist or a chiropractor might have a different method. They've set the intention that, let me think about this and make sure I get it straight, that weakness means no and strength means yes. And that makes sense to me intuitively as well, that if a body wants to say no, it would just kind of go, no, I don't want that. And if a body wants to say yes, it's going to stand strong. That makes sense to me too. You can choose which one you want. For my methods, when I'm in an in-person session, transformational session with my clients, and we're using the belief repatterning technique or kinesiology, we use the way of a yes goes down and a no stays solid, because we're going to get a whole lot more no's than we are yeses, right? So that is the first one. And you just set the intention by telling the body what a no looks like and what a yes looks like. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more clearly now as I show you the finger technique. So this is the first place I actually want you to start while you're practicing. Right now, put your non-dominant hand up like this. So if you are right-handed, this is your left hand. And if you're left-handed, this is your right hand. Put it up like this, in this okie dokie position. And then we're gonna stick a piece of paper in here. Business card, $5 bill, not a $100 bill. You don't wanna hold on to it that tight. $5 bill, business card. Only hold it tight enough that somebody would have to tug decently to get it out, but that they can still get it out. That's how hard you're holding your fingers. Then take your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, this is your right hand. If you're left-handed, this is your left. And stick it through. Some people do this way. I don't like it that way. You can try. Stick it through and go all the way up to the third segment of your finger. And this is just so you don't give yourself muscle testing carpal tunnel syndrome where it's all flexing in weird, funny ways. It's nice and solid if you do it there. And then you just say to your body, I set the intention that a yes goes through, and then just feel it go through. Now notice, I didn't open these fingers. I just held them and my finger went through and I continued holding them. I set the intention that a yes goes through. Through. It went through. I set the intention that a no stays solid. A no stays closed. I'm not holding any tighter. I'm not pinching this shut to stop that finger from getting through. It just didn't go. I'm not doing it with my mind. I'm letting my mind take a hike, or I'm letting my mind ask the questions and then step out of the way and let the body do the talking. This is the first challenge that most people have, is that part about letting the mind step out of the way. And you're going to be asking yourself, did I do that? Did my body do that? How do I tell? How do I know? Try not to go down that rabbit hole of how do I know. Just practice and practice and practice. This is a yes. This is a no. This is a yes. This is a no. Do it for 5 straight minutes. This is a yes. This is a no. And then, my name is Sarah. My name is George. Oh, my body knows my name is Sarah. My body knows I'm not George. That's good. You don't have to say the name Sarah. You can put your name in instead. My name is Sarah. My name is George. My mom's dog's name is Freely. Yeah, it is. My mom's dog's name is Bingo. Nope, it isn't. My mom's cat's name is Lilu. Yeah, it is. My mom's cat's name is Jingo. Nope, it isn't. Just play. Just play with stuff that you already know the yes or no answers to. Again, with this one, it can be reversed. Some people do it the other way, where strong is the yes, and that, I think the people who have learned to do it this way do that. Strong is a yes. Or just don't bounce it like that. Just do it once. Strong is a yes, and weakness is no. Same as what we talked about with the arm. Intuitively, I understand that. But don't ever let anybody tell you that's the only way, because it's not. You get to choose. You get to set the intention. Your body's not the boss of you. You get to say, I want a yes to be this. I want a no to be that. And play with it and see what you're most comfortable with and what speaks to you the best. So that's the finger method. Like I said, some people do it this way. I prefer this. This is what I teach my clients usually. And then ask next, does my body want water right now? Yes. I can feel that I'm thirsty. I've been talking for a long time. Yes, my body wants water right now. Does my body want food right now? Yes. Oh, I'm hungry too. I hadn't even noticed that yet. This is a good way to make sure that you only eat when you're hungry, because sometimes you might have an inkling for a snack. You say, does my body actually need food right now? No. Oh, no snack then. Maybe I'll chew some gum if you're a gum chewer. Maybe I'll have a Tic Tac. Maybe I'll do something else that staves off the snack. Maybe I'll repattern. I forgive myself for believing I need to snack when I'm bored, right? Like, I give myself permission to only eat when I'm hungry, when my body needs it. Anyway, I digress. That's the finger method. The next is also a finger method, but it's a flick. And I just, on my dominant hand, I just put my middle finger here. And then if my body wants to say yes, it just flicks. And if it wants to say no, it just doesn't do anything. The reason I use this sometimes, I've seen a guy use it for like knowing how much water his body wanted. He was drinking a glass of, he was quite dehydrated. He was drinking a glass of water. He was sitting like this, and he didn't stop drinking until it went, yes, that's enough. So he just set the intention, my finger will flick when I've consumed enough water for my body. Side note, take sips of your water throughout the day. Don't guzzle, because when you guzzle, it just goes through you and you don't absorb it all. But anyway, total side note. So that's the flick. One of the things I do like about the flick is that it's really quick and easy and you can do it without anybody noticing. But I have an even better one for that I'm going to tell you in a second. So what I don't like about the flick is there is no difference between a no and a no answer. And so I guess that might be true here too. There's no difference between a no and a no answer. But sometimes your body doesn't want to answer you and you wouldn't know the difference. And the reason for that might be you're hungry, you're tired, you're thirsty, or you're sick or whatever, right? You wouldn't know the difference between a no and a no answer in this case. And I didn't like that. The other thing is I get a little bit of pain in the back of my tendon if I use this one too much, because it puts strain in a different way than this one does. It's like the same fingers that hurt if I've been typing a lot when I'm writing a lot. Anyway, so that's the flick method. Play with it. Just see if you like it. The twitch method is my favorite. It's just a finger twitch. My dad actually made this up and shared it with me, and it was my favorite thing ever. And it just is, if my body wants to say yes, my index finger twitches. If my body wants to say no, my pinky finger twitches. And this has become so ingrained into my day-to-day life that I can just be walking through a store and my eyes suddenly land on something that I might not have even thought of usually buying, and my finger might go, yes, I want that. That's my body actually asking for that thing. Another example is if I'm at my craniosacral therapist, she asks me questions and about my body that are yes or no questions. And my hand will just be sitting there and my body will just answer. And I don't have to try to come up with answers about my body from my mind. And she actually really appreciates that. And now she doesn't even necessarily need me to respond, because she knows that if this twitches, it's a yes, and if this twitches, it's a no. I really like this one for driving. If I'm driving by I like an A&W and I really want a burger, I can say, is today a burger day? Nope. Let's go home and make a salad. Okay, is today a burger day? Yep, yes. Burgers, here we come. And some days my body does need a burger and other days it doesn't. So I let my body decide instead of my taste buds. So that's the twitch method, and it's my favorite. And then there's the lean method, and you probably have seen this before. It's quite common, I'll say. People use this a lot for choosing essential oils, choosing a stone, and what it basically, or choosing what book to read. And like, let's say I have, oopsie. I could take that as a message as this is not the right book, but I'm still going to go through my demonstration. I have two books, The Tao of Inner Peace, The Tao is Silent. Which one of these books carries the highest information for me right now? I put my attention on this book. I pay attention to my body. Does it lean in? Does it stay neutral? Does it lean out? Remember, I'm not doing it. I'm following the sway of my body. I put my attention on this book. Does this one resonate for me? Is this one in alignment with me? These are the kinds of questions I'm asking, and I'll talk in a second about how to ask the questions. So I just did it. And I leaned in towards this book. I leaned away from this book, or back to neutral anyway. My body did that. So this is the second time I've done this demonstration today, and both times I leaned into this book. And again, it's really about letting your mind check out and just follow the body. And I do this with essential oils sometimes. I do this with rocks and stones. I do this with food. I do this with What else can I think of? There's so many different situations to use it in. But people, if somebody walks into the room, do you feel yourself leaning towards them, or do you feel yourself kind of lean back? Pay attention to that. It's a message. It's a communication. And then you might use more muscle testing to figure out why. Is it just that that person's in a bad mood? Or is there something about that person that's like really out of alignment and triggering for you? And then are they mirroring something to you? Like there's so many different ways that we can unpack this. But it gave you a message if you leaned away, right? So we've talked about arm, fingers, flick, twitch, lean, switching the intention of which is which. With the lean technique, I would pretty much always trust that leaning towards means yes and leaning away from means no. With the twitch, I have my clear yes and no. I don't need to switch which one is which. With the flick, I wouldn't really need to switch it either. That's pretty clear. Yes is a flick and no is solid. With the fingers and the arm, this one and this one, play around with it. See what you like. See what you want a yes to be and a no to be. Do what feels the best to you. That's the other thing here. Do what feels the best to you. So just a quick note about how to ask and what to ask. Don't ask about time. Muscle testing can't give you answers about time. It can't tell you what's going to happen in the future. It can tell you the nature of what happened in the past because we have cellular memory of things that we've been through. This is part of trauma, but it's also part of like happy patterns in the body too. But so we have cellular memory, so you can sort out something that happened before using muscle testing and gain clarity on it. You know, oh, did I feel like that because this? Yes or no, right? However, don't try to use muscle testing to determine something in the future. It doesn't work that way. Our bodies haven't been in the future yet. And yes, I know time is not linear. Time is kind of stacked. And there's an element of our oversoul that is present in all times at once and all of these things. But my body in this dimensional time space that I am walking through in this lifetime, my body doesn't know what's going to happen in the future. Never mind the fact if we got into the theory of multiple time streams, every decision I make between here and now and then affects whether or not I go on this time stream or this time stream or this time stream, and all time streams are happening at once. So how does my body know which one I'm going to be on? That takes away my free will. I still have free will of what decision am I going to make here, what decision am I going to make here. So my body might be able to know probabilities of what might happen in the future of a whole bunch of different timelines. Maybe, maybe not. I don't. But which one of those is actually going to play out? Don't use muscle testing for that. You'll get yourself frustrated if you try to do that. Try not to ask, should I? It's a loaded question, and the word should ought to be eliminated from our, the word should be eliminated from our vocabulary anyway. Should is a loaded question because it's also not a clear enough question. Should I eat this? Well, what's your goal? Do you want pleasure or health? So should I go this way or that way? Well, what's your goal? Do you want to be slowed down so that your body can relax, or do you want to get there really fast? You have to be really clear about what it is you're asking. So I do ask for directions through town when I'm muscle testing in my car, but I phrase it like this: which route has the best flow right now? Is it White Mud? No. Is it Henday? No. Is it Yellowhead? Yeah. Oh, weird. Yellowhead never has the best flow. Apparently right now it does. I just thought about my house. I'm at my mom's right now. So, which route has the best flow right now tells me what is happening right now in the energetic environment of the city that I live in. That's fair. Which route should I take? That depends what your body wants. If your body wants to stop and reflect and think about life for 10 minutes without driving, it might land you behind a train that's coming, right? Like, And again, I mean, we also, again, we're not going to get frustrated if we still end up in a traffic jam because I said which route has the most flow right now. But that still takes me half an hour to drive across town. And what happens in that half an hour, I couldn't have guessed. I couldn't have muscle tested that. So be careful of the way that you're phrasing things. You just want to be really clear and really direct, and not asking should means getting more clear about what is it that I'm after. Which of these two meals holds the most nutrition for me? That's a clear question. Which of these two meals will help my body feel the most in harmony and alignment? That's a clear question. Which of these two oils will allow my body to feel calm and peace and relaxed today? I might pull a word before I pull my oils. If I want to feel accepted, if my body wants to feel accepted, is there an essential oil in my shelf that helps my body feel accepted? And then I can muscle test for that, right? So instead of just saying, which oil should I use? Well, what's your goal? Do you want emotional settling down, or do you want more clarity and focus, or do you want your body to feel better? Is there an issue that so you got to be really clear about what you're asking, and muddy questions bring muddy answers. What else about how to ask? Don't use it to ask a lot of questions about other people when you're in relationships. Your body, we're all walking, talking receivers and transmitters of energy. And your body might be able to pick up on what is the emotional state of that person, but it doesn't know the truth about what that person's truth is. So if you could muscle test, like, is so-and-so mad? Yeah. Is it about me? Well, that's their journey, not yours, right? So there's a different emotional journey for you to take rather than trying to sit there and use muscle testing to sort out somebody else's stuff. But I mean, I do use muscle testing in my relationships. I'm just really careful about the way that I do it. And it's of more good to just hold space for the other person as soon as I know they're mad. Trust that it's not about me, because I know that anyway. Trust that it is they're on their journey. And even if it's something that I did that triggered them, if I have a pattern that triggers them all the time, I could ask that. Do I have a pattern that triggered them? That's a fair question for muscle testing. But we want to get really clear about not crossing other people's boundaries while we're using it, just like we wouldn't give somebody a psychic reading without their permission, right? But that being said, I use it with my kids all the time. Is my son asleep enough that I can leave his room without him waking up and going, no, don't leave me, mommy? I muscle test for that. Is my daughter feeling confident enough right now that I can, like, if she's been having a lot of separation anxiety that day, is she feeling confident enough today that I can just duck out for a minute, like, to the other room without actually bringing her with me, right? She's a baby still. And so these kinds of questions, I can ask those questions. And or because I'm, like, really sensitive to energy, and sometimes my partner might come home and I can actually feel him pull up, and I can feel like, oh, he's had road rage. So, I mean, I can ask questions like, oh, is he in a bad mood? Yeah, okay. And then I just do, like, a grounding clearing and sort of, I don't like to say ground, clear, protect, because I don't believe protection is necessary, but it's more like transcending and, like, embodying my higher self and getting into a place where I'm really solid, I'm really grounded, and that another person's energy isn't going to sideswipe me, right? And so just be careful of how you're using it when it's in relationship with respect to time or the word should. just get more clear about what it is that you're asking. Yeah, so that is a video about muscle testing for you. Remember to use it in ways that empower you and do not disempower you and do not disempower other people. Everybody's journey is their own. Your journey is your own. And this is a beautiful tool to help you on your journey. It is not the ultimate truth about things, and we don't want to rely on it deeper than we rely on our inner knowing, our inner truth, our intuition, and our connection to spirit. But we can use it to enhance that. That is everything. Thank you so much. You are a bright light. Be well. Be soulfully empowered. Be the light you want to be. And be you. Love you.